Hey guys, this is Jason Price here with Feral Texas Outdoors, and we have a brand new product by Infrared Outdoor, and this is our review of the brand new RH25 in the V2. So this is our version 2 of this. This is upgraded for the V1. I can say there's a lot of impressive things about this unit, and there's a ton of things to go over. As you can see, you've got my weapon system set up here because there are a lot of options with this multi-role unit thermal. As everybody knows, the RH25 was one of my favorite thermals. This one is no different. This is my new favorite thermal out there. If you want to know what it is that we use around here at Feral Texas Outdoors, it is the RH25 V2, just because of its versatility of always being able to fit pretty much any role that you put it into. So we're going to get into it, guys, and we're going to see here, and we're going to swap parts. We're going to say some things that are included, some things that are a little bit different from the V1. But the biggest thing that we want to get into here are the specs. So when we look at the specs, this is a 640 resolution thermal, 12 micron, 25 millimeter sensor on here, a 60 hertz refresh now versus the 50. We also have a larger display. This is 1440 by 1080. They claim to be 80% bigger in your field of view inside of here. You can see the difference here between this one and the V1 that we have over here. Just with looking at the eyepieces and what their width is and kind of the circumference there. There's a lot larger display inside of our V2 here, which makes it, I think, for a very, very different experience when you're looking at helmet mounting it, or even as a weapon dedicated, which we'll go over how that configuration works. Having a larger field of view inside that display, even though this thing is one base, also you still have the clip-on capability. So no multi-role use. We have helmet, dedicated weapon, and then we also have clip-on. So we're going to get to how some of these things are attached here. So we have our version 2 here with our American Defense mount. So I am using the upgraded mounts. They do come with this mount right here, standard mount that will weapon mount it for you. It just does not QD off to run it as a helmet. So you will need the pigtail upgrade. There is no mum mount for this to helmet mount. So if you are wanting to helmet mount the V2, just know you will have to purchase this pigtail piece. I'm going to remove our eye cup for this video, showing how we work with our clip-on, because you do want that removed because you do want the distance on the eyepiece. As you can see, the mounting system stays behind. So I can actually move this up just a little bit. We just finished running the configuration in clip-on mode. So you can see how we're all in line. This is just a standard height rings that we have on a 34 millimeter tube. So nothing really special on there. This is a Vortex Razor 3 that we used with this. Magnification on the clip-on mode here with the RH25 V2. 6 power, that's really it. You're probably maxing out, kind of depending on the glass, you may be at like 5 power. So think the LPVOs, 1 to 5s are perfect for the RH25. Think of tactical type situations. I would say when we were running tests, like we try to do some varmint hunting with it, 200 yards, 250 yards in clip-on mode. Weapon dedicated mode, you're probably 175. Reason that being that if you run it is that the digital crosshairs in here, you have a 1x, 2x, and 4x, and that's it. So you do get maybe just a little bit more magnification with the clip-on to get a little bit more range out of it. But it is always complicated when you're running, scope, then you're running the thermal. You're kind of adjusting some of the front sensor for near and far on here. So it is kind of complicated to go make this a long range optic. You can, it'll take a little bit of work. So you will have to just we always try to set realistic expectations for folks that it may not be your ideal varmint rifle setup just like this, but you can make it work if you are wanting that multi-role use. So with clip-on mode, it does recess the screen inside. You just simply press the middle button and that will actually switch you between your modes. Helmet mounted operation, you rotate over. Dedicated mode, of course, you just press the button and you go sighted in just like you do any other thermal that's out there right now. Different color palettes are in this thing now. We have colored crosshairs, you have multiple different crosshairs, lots of options here. You have 3 different zeros in here. I can say that the new palette colors are pretty awesome. Definitely something that we should play around with a little bit more, but everybody is still just a traditional white hot. But if you are one that wants to get something, just do something just a little bit different, I definitely think that the Viridian or the Crimson, kind of that green and that red actually looks pretty cool. So we're going to start running into our different configurations now with this, and then we'll go over some different specs that are also additional here to the V2. So I'm going to remove our scope. So if you guys do have some QD mounts, and this is something that you want to do, but we're going to move this out of clip-on configuration, and we're going to show kind of what we look like here with weapon dedicated mode. So you'd put your eye cup back on there. Some guys run it without it, but I'm gonna tell you right now, with this being such a little small thermal, you probably want to go ahead and just have a little bit of a reminder on there just to run this as weapon dedicated. As we mentioned earlier, you are a 1 base, you digitally zoom up to 2, digitally zoom up to 4, and then it cycles back to 1. This unit does have video and audio. The power system runs off of a single 18650. What is nice about this is they do the shorter cap, and you do have a longer cap here that you can run with that as well. Being able to run this with different sized 18650 batteries to be able to make this a little bit more universal for you. It does also have a USB-C port. So you can see, we'll quickly remove this. If you're like helmet mounting this, put it on the weapon. Now you do have a USB-C port right here in the front to run that with essentially your helmet. So we kind of have our helmet set up right here where we can, some people will still go back, remove the eye cup, or they do have a secondary eye cup that is kind of more like a PVS 14 eye cup that you can put on here. So you can see in a helmet mounted configuration, with that USB-C port, you can run a battery pack here. The back is your counterweight, and being able to power this unit without sacrificing your 18650. So in the field, you could spot something, pop it off just like that, put it onto your weapon system here, and be ready to go. So the multi-role use and return to zero is awesome. I mention this just for when you think about clip-on configuration and weapon dedicated systems. If you have multiple rifles, you do have 1 clip-on zero, and then you have 3 weapon dedicated zeros. So you can actually have 4 different weapons kind of lined out in here, and being able to run those all with your ADM mounts here. If you get multiple ones of those, you can switch to multiple weapon systems and still maintain zeros because you're leaving the mount behind. This top portion that's connecting is already set for your picktail. So you're not having to make any adjustments between rail mounts because this is already set for this optic and you're leaving this mount behind. It is an awesome system. Whoever created this was definitely had some genius behind it on the multi-role use for these types of units. I can say, you can see my rifle configuration here. We went super light titanium suppressor here. I do like this EMMG Descents because I can kind of swap some things around in the piston driven system, but also kind of went with my skeletonized folding stock there. But running this with a micro was a friggin' blast, guys. Having a super lightweight system, going around there, running around on pigs and going to get on top of stuff. You know, the clip-on does add a little more weight to it. You know, running a scope additionally with it is possible, but you know, we did get up in a high rack and did run this a little bit. Can't say that I made the best shots out there, or sometimes I wasn't positioned to make a good shot on varmints, but we definitely gave it a try. I think with some practice, a lot of guys probably do a lot better than I did running in a clip-on configuration for varmint hunting, because if you have that capability, you know, with your glass and being able to do it, but you do know that when you're trying to sight this thing in, we are kind of jumping around a lot because this unit has so many different capabilities. One thing to note with this is, of course, running in the clip-on mode, you move your screen in here to your daytime optics. So you know, if you're shooting low or high or whatever, you would move your screen accordingly inside here. This is not a thing where you can put it right in front of your daytime optic and just be ready to go right out of the box. You do have to have some adjustments to this, not to your daytime optic, but to the thermal itself, just with the screen adjustments in here to make sure you're all lined back up and kind of co-witness together. This is not something you'd have to repeat every time unless you were to switch optics or switch rifles. So you are able to have that. But there's so many different options with this. It's one of those things where we do get a lot of calls on the RH25s because we do videos like this where we're actually running different multi-roles and different things that we're doing with it. But there are a ton of capabilities with it. But the biggest question we get is that 1 clip-on zero and that culmination process of getting this co-witness together. That is a little bit of a process to do that, but not super complicated. You just sit there and just move the screen around. And weapon dedicated mode, you just decide it like every other thermal. So just know that going in and everything be perfectly great. We do get some questions from guys like, I know my certain clicks and certain ranges and things like that. You can take advantage of some of that. If you do know the dopes really well in your scopes, you can kind of take advantage of that a little bit and trying to use this a little bit more in the clip-on configuration. But it is definitely something that you are able to do. This is adaptable. People do things a little bit different. Some of our precision shooters, you might not get some of the results you might have if you were to go with a 50 millimeter sensor in the front versus your 25 here. But this thing is really awesome just with what this can do with a 25 millimeter sensor. I mean, running that new 18 millikelvin sensor on the front is really, really awesome. And I did like having my cattail piece up here in the front for this front sensor to be able to adjust for near and far targets. That actually is included now. That was kind of an add-on with the V1. So if you can see here, see a little deal because the way that the focus ring is. So you got a nice little cattail, little throw lever on there. It's easy for you to grab, go up there and grab and adjust for near and far target. So I did like that, especially when we were running it in the clip-on mode. It was nice to be able to kind of reach my hand up there and get up there and get set for some longer range shots. But guys, if you have questions, please reach out to us, feraltexasoutdoors.com, or any of our social media platforms. Better yet, give us a call here at our retail location, and we'd be happy to walk you through of everything about the RH25 V2. Or better yet, come by and see us in person. We're located halfway between Austin and Waco here in Central Texas. You can come by and see us. Come out here and check out all the new infrared outdoor products, and especially our favorite here, the RH25 V2. But here is our footage of the brand new RH25 V2 by Infrared Outdoor.
for it. Sorry. Ring out. Okay, just go for it. Legit.
Hey guys, thanks for watching our video. We hope you enjoyed the content. If you'd like to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you're notified the next time we post a video. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us on any of our social media platforms. You can also call us, send us a text, or as always, visit us here at our store located in Holland, Texas, between Austin and Waco. Now, if you want to get more in-depth information from other users, not just us, feel free to join our Facebook groups so you can see what others are saying about the product as well. As always, thank you for watching. Bye.